Welcome to the first episode of the Cultist podcast. I am cult leader Colton. That was stupid. That's stupid. Anyways, the name of the podcast will probably change soon, but I couldn't think of anything other than the Cultist podcast because name's Colton. Haha. It only makes it funnier when I explain the joke. It wasn't even a joke because jokes are good. Anyways, we will be talking about the Order of the Solar Temple today, which is a dark story, but warning, this episode has themes of suicide, murder, and gets dark, but it's what happened. If you don't like dark themes, don't carry on listening. Also, I'll try to alternate between each week between a more serious and a more calm, subject, but there aren't too many calm or funny cults, so just warning. Anyways, I'm going to dive right in. D. Mambro was a devoted Catholic, going to church every Sunday until he was 20. That's when he started occultism, which are various theories and practices involving a belief and knowledge or use of supernatural forces or beings, until he established the Golden Way Foundation, which was a way for occult enthusiasts to connect. Mambro met one Luke Joret. I am pronouncing that way wrong, I know, but, through the Golden Way Foundation. Joret was studying to become a doctor and gave it up for spiritualism and homeopathy and traveled to learn about alternative medicine. That was until he met Mambro. They had an idea together. They decided to start their own religion. They got in contact with various other cults and decided to form their own, called the Order of the Solar Temple. But I'm going to just call it Solar Temple because I'm not going to say that every time, because every time for some reason I mess up the Order of the Solar Temple. I don't know why, but Anyways, they started it in Geneva, Switzerland in 1984. Most people think that cults brainwash the poor, uneducated people who seem vulnerable, which that is true, but almost anybody can be dragged into a cult. But Solar Temple was more for higher-ups, actually. It wasn't for, the stereotypical low-class, people that other cults targeted. You had to pay to get in, and you had to pay to get to the afterlife. Their main goal was to recreate the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. For those who don't know, the Golden Dawn was formed in the late 1800s to early 1900s, or it lasted until the early 1900s. They were a secret society in London that practiced magic and engagement with the paranormal. Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is still around today in small groups, but nowhere as popular as they were. The Solar Temple has evangelical and UFO beliefs. They thought that the end was near and that when the apocalypse happened, they would be teleported to another planet to live out the afterlife. As long as they paid enough, of course, though. You got to pay to get into the afterlife. It's not a cult if you can't pay, if you don't pay to get into the afterlife. I know at this point you might be thinking, why would anybody believe anything like that? It's no, you from an outsider, it's easy to see that. But keep in mind that it didn't start out with them first things going up and being like, hey, Jesus is an alien, he's gonna pick us up in a UFO, we're gonna be teleported to a planet, It started slowly introducing, and cult leaders are really charismatic and really I forgot his name, but the leader of Heaven's Gate, people who met him, well, I guess there was two leaders, but they say that he was such a nice person, that's why they just followed him, because acted nice on the outside. But there's many other cults that are leaders that are exactly like that. But anyways, if you want to see like brainwashed people, actually, you should look up the exit interviews for Heaven's Gate. They were, it was like it was videos of them asking like questions and stuff like that for right before the cult members went off and ended themselves, I guess you could say. But like in the videos, they're not like sad or like, because like it was all sprung onto them. Like that week, they were told, "We're offing ourselves this week. We got to leave our mortal bodies behind, so we can transfer our conscious up to the spaceship." But like they're full of hope and excitement for the day to come. But anyways, that's for another episode. Let's get back into Solar Temple. The spiral of Solar Temple started when Mambro's own son Eli found a projector that was fabricating spiritual visions. Eli, who was a firm believer in the Solar Temple's teachings, started to speak out against it, and because he's one of the one of the religions, now it's a cult, but leader's son, that caused people, or that made people like know that if it was anybody who would say that this is a false religion, he would be one of the people who would know. That caused people to look into it themselves and saw how luxurious lives the leaders had. It made many people leave, which angered Mambro, who knew that he might lose even more people. Something had to be done quickly. Then the final nail in the coffin was when one Antonio and Nikki Dutoit, I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm aware, but named their kid Emmanuel, the Son of God, which made Mambro furious, because he's already given the title Son of God, or Godchild, to one of his own kids. He ended up killing the Dutoit family in a really gruesomely, with a wooden stake, and like that was like, both the parents, the child, everything, and claiming their child the Antichrist. After Mambro claimed the apocalypse was soon, because he took the birth of the Antichrist as a pretty good, sign that the apocalypse was soon, they needed to transport themselves early to the planet to get started on the afterlife, because why are they just wasting away when they can leave then? The way that they got there was by poisoning themselves, and anybody who refused was forced into the afterlife, I guess you could say. On the day that they were going to transport themselves to the planet, Mambro reenacted the Last Supper with his inner circle, and with him as Jesus, of course. Authorities found 74 people dead in the cult's burned down village, some of who were poisoned and some who were shot in the side of the head. The bodies were found in a star-shaped circle with their feet pointed in the middle. Mambro's son was also found there, murdered, or his son Eli was found murdered, meaning he never left the cult or was forced to be there to be killed. The cult is still active to this day with hundreds of members, and hopefully another event like so never happens. Anyways, it's a pretty dark episode, but I feel like stories like this need to be shared and help spread awareness that some religious groups are cults, and as outsiders we need to do as much as we are able, not by harming or attacking them, but by talking and giving facts. And I don't know, there's a book you can read on it. It's Combating a Cult Mindset, I think is the name of it. I don't remember who wrote it. It's on Amazon, but I haven't read it yet, but it's supposedly a good read. By attacking and insulting a brainwashed person, you're reinforcing their cult ideology, causing them to be taught, or because they were taught, an us versus them mindset, knowing they know that the world is against them and they don't like them. So just saying that, getting mad at them and all that is just reinforcing their beliefs. And they'll always respond with what they were taught to respond. Like, oh, you just have to have, like, faith in Demandro or Dimambro, you know, like the cult leader of Solar Temple, you know? Anyways, thanks for listening to the first ever episode of the Cultist podcast. I don't like that name, but you know what? I'll probably end up just leaving it because I can't think of anything different. And if you're on YouTube, like and comment if you and follow me on Instagram at Thecoltist616, spelled Coltist. Again, don't like that name, but you know what? Whatever. It's here to stay, I guess. Whatever. Anyways, that's all for now. This has been your cult leader, Colton, and I'll never say that again. See you next time.